It's 8:09, 73 degrees. Good morning, and please welcome my guest in the studio. We have a touch of Hollywood come to the studio this morning. With us is Eddie Crawford, who made a movie called 60 Miles North, and that movie has in it our own Michelle Taylor. I know, she was in a movie. Is that the best? So Michelle is joining us electronically. Also, hi, Michelle.
Hi, Kate. Good morning. Good morning, Eddie.
Hey, Michelle. Good morning.
So,
all right.
You
This is
guys
great.
made a movie together.
We
Eddie,
Yeah.
it's so nice to meet you. You're so young to be this accomplished. I'm absolutely amazed and jealous and pleased to meet you. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Kate, and it's very nice to meet you. That's a huge compliment. And I wish I could agree, but it takes so many years to get something off the ground like this.
Oh, it takes forever to be an overnight success. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
You have an interesting history, though. You were the first season the host of Cash Cab.
I was. I booked that.
Wow.
Yeah, I booked that. Beat out thousands of actors and hosts and comedians in New York City, and that it changed my life. It was a great time,
For 1 year, one season.
Well, we shot some episodes, and they fired. I was terminated before all of them were to air.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, we are responsible for our actions, and I had gotten a DUI previously.
You said it was like 12 years previously, but still.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a driving show, so so it just didn't. It wasn't sitting well with them, in terms of insurance or whatever. So I was terminated, and I went through a very hard time after that because it's so hard to catch lightning in a bottle to begin with in this industry. It's so competitive.
Yeah.
That when you do that, it's.
I can imagine the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
And you took that pain and wrote it into the movie 60 Miles North. So let's talk about the movie.
Yeah, great. 60 Miles North is an autobiographical film based on my experiences with being hired by Cash Cab and then losing it and having to leave New York City and move back to my beautiful, wonderful hometown of Newburgh, New York, which I love being there, but I did not want to be there at that time because I was there with my tail between my legs.
You wanted to be a star in New York. Yeah.
So, I just kind of was going through a hard time. I wasn't dealing with it well. The rejection, the termination, and my folks were getting pretty tired of me sleeping on the couch every day and my belly aching. And a couple mentors of mine in the film industry, they had said to me, why don't you write something? And I started to, I did like 3 short films, which is what I consider my film school because I had never gone to film school. And those 3 shorts had nothing to do with Cash Cab but people received them well. And then I started to pen the script for 60 Miles North. And and it was painful to write that and relive it because years had passed.
Yeah.
And but it was extremely cathartic. And I feel like I've broken through. It's my love letter to. I'm saying goodbye to Cash Cab because it's eaten me up over the years because of that one chance gone sour, and of course my chronic Lyme disease that I've dealt with for a very long time. That's
the other side of this story, that you incorporate your life living with Lyme disease into the movie also.
Yeah, because it was the truth, and with any chronic illness, when you're ill, you actually have the illness physically, obviously. But when anything happens in terms of stress, or in my case, losing the Cash Cab, it works on your adrenal glands, and you.
It makes you sicker.
In a way, it can because it lowers your immune system when you're stressed.
Okay.
The cortisol, levels rise, and I started to get worse, and we had to differentiate. Was this just depression from losing Cash Cab, or was this,
or is there something physical behind it? Oh, wow.
Right. And even though I live with chronic Lyme, there was a little depression involved. How could there not be?
Right.
When you lose something so profound.
Yeah.
So I wanted to write both in, and I had a very hard time doing that I was told by a lot of people, medical subject matter is not entertaining, but I found a way to make it entertaining. So you're not watching this film being like, oh God, here's another.
Oh, here he is complaining.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wrote the character that has Lyme disease. I wrote for a female in the film. So when I in the film I lose Cash Cab and I have to leave the city and move back home to Newburgh, and I'm going to move back into my childhood bedroom, but because my parents and I didn't have a great relationship at the time because they did not want me chasing this crazy dream. They wanted me to be safe and practical and get on the railroad, which I come from a Metro North Railroad family.
Okay.
Just like Michelle's husband, Al, right?
Mm-hmm.
The husband.
And
he's known around here as the husband.
the husband.
Yes.
And I didn't want to do that. So I.
But you found that someone else in the movie, at least, someone else was living in your childhood bedroom.
Yeah, my parents had rented out the room, and there was someone living there who is sick with Lyme disease, but nobody's believing her. Like, she's sick and she's presenting symptoms, but it even induced a period of agoraphobia where she couldn't leave the backyard, and no one believed her. And my character comes up, this guy Clarence, and he's angry. And I find out my parents also have sold a house. So in 30 days, everyone's got to go. And the character's name is Wild Fall, played by the actress Audrey Kovar. And her and I have no choice but to get to know each other. And we kind of heal off of each other in these very unique ways because we're both down and out. We're both hurting.
So now, what about Michelle Taylor's role in your movie? How did you find Michelle? Michelle, how did you find the movie and Eddie to get cast into a role?
Wow. Okay. We met in a bar.
Okay.
Okay. I was actually bartending at this bar in our area, our neck of the woods, and he came in and I was talking to him, and at the time a friend of his, and we just started both of us, Ed and I, are very outgoing, and we just started chatting and got to know each other, and then we found the commonality of the railroad, and then some actors in my family, and then I really immersed myself into talking to him and getting to know him, and then he realized I was in broadcasting, so we kind of like meshed as friends in our professional and personal life. And the years came and then they went, and then we got back together with a very what would you call it? That was a horror film, right? That independent horror film.
Yes.
And it was like a 7-minute independent, and you were a
Short.
police officer, right? And it was filmed in Pine Bush, and I was a dispatcher. A quick line. It was quick, but I had to do it. Eddie, I had like 10 takes. I'm like, wait a second, what is happening?
Yeah.
But,
no, you were great. You were great.
That was interesting. We were on set for that, and we got to see makeup, and it was fantastic. And then fast forward, we bumped into each other because Eddie, stayed connected, and he said he was doing this film, and he wanted to, first I was going to play a bartender, because theoretically that's how we met. But then he created this character based on my history in radio. And I am a jock from, I actually say Poughkeepsie in the movie. It's all local. And that's what's the beauty is, it not only did Ed bring in some known actors, he did cast a lot of people in his personal life. And that's how I got into it. And it was a lot of fun. We did a table read in New York, and then COVID, right, Eddie?
Yep.
And then things shifted, and then we were back out on the streets doing it, Woodstock Film Festival about a year and a half ago, and here you are, my friend, making this happen. So I'm very excited to be a part of it. Thank you for taking me along.
Of course. And Michelle, you're absolutely wonderful in this. And when we were ready to cast, I just remember thinking, because Michelle has this, and I'm going to probably pronounce this word wrong, but this indefatigable ability. Like she's never shy of the right thing to say. And this character, even though it was scripted, I knew I wanted her to improvise at times, in which she did. And we ran it so many times that the improvisation actually became a script.
Yep. Yep.
and
Yep.
but you worked very hard at remembering the lines too.
I tried.
Yes, and no, it was absolutely perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, you kill it. You kill it.
And we haven't said yet, but we, just in case it's not really obvious, 60 Miles North, the title of the film, refers to your location 60 miles north of New York City in Orange County.
In Newburgh, New York. It's where I was born and raised, and I'm very proud to be there. We shot many interiors in Newburgh and a few exteriors. We shot at the tailor shop, Mr. Valentine's Tailor Shop on Broadway. We shot on Liberty Street. We shot in the town of Newburgh. We shot in some surrounding areas in the Hudson Valley, but
local.
I wanted to stay in shoot. I will always shoot. I'm shooting another film in October in Newburgh.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about that, but we need to take a quick break. We're talking with Eddie Crawford and Michelle Taylor about the film 60 Miles North. We'll be right back on Wall Radio. I'm so happy to have in the studio with me and joining us electronically. I have Eddie Crawford here, who wrote, starred in, produced, directed. You did everything for 60 Miles North, the film. And you also cast in one of the parts our own Michelle Taylor, and Michelle's here too.
Yeah. I think people often ask me, and one of my idols and mentors is Edward Burns, a filmmaker, an indie filmmaker, and he does the same thing. And I've kind of like modeled myself and emulated his style, and while finding my own voice. And someone asked him why he does it all too, and his answer was, I knew I'd show up. You never know.
You showed up. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You do everything yourself because
right.
that's how you know it'll be done exactly the way you like. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
So where can we see 60 Miles North?
Yes. July 9th, this Tuesday. It's available for streaming on Amazon Prime, Amazon, Fandango at Home, Vudu, some other cable outlets. You can pre-order it now if you go to the website 60milesnorthmovie.com and look at the trailer. You can pre-order it, right now or buy it.
Yes, so you can see the trailer online.
Yeah. So it's we are ready to rock. I'm very excited. We're there's a great buzz around this film because it's honest. The reviews that have come in have been so good. I've never been complimented so much in my life, and my girlfriend who's sitting next to me, she's keeping my head small, but it's really nice to get those kinds of reviews because it's not just me, it's the whole cast and crew. I had a wonderful cast and crew. I cannot deny that, and they were just amazing, and I look forward to working with a lot of them again.
Well, now speaking of continuing to work. What's next for you?
Yeah, in late October, I'm going to shoot in Newburgh, New York. I'm going to shoot like an existential comedy that takes place in the city of Newburgh, the whole film in the city of Newburgh, and maybe, in Beacon on the train, which I plan to use a lot of local people as extras and maybe cast.
Ooh.
Yeah, cast some because I must shoot in Newburgh. I have no other,
You have a great love for the city of Newburgh. That shows.
Yes, and the town.
And the town of Newburgh.
I love the whole place.
Yep.
Yes.
So if someone would love to be in your movie, what do they do?
Follow me on Instagram at 60 Miles North. 60 the number, obviously, Miles North. Follow me on Instagram because I'm always putting the castings. I'm old school. Even though we will have a casting director, I'm always putting it out for the locals to come in and get an opportunity, because that's how it happened with me.
And we would love to see Michelle in even more. Right, Michelle?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that's great.
That's a given.
It's such a great opportunity. And really quick before I let you guys go, people always say, and I'm sure Edward, they say, well, what is it about? Right. So my explanation of the movie, a quick thumbnail sketch, right, is to say it's all about, even though there's encouragement and inspiration in your life, it's always about following what you want to do. No matter how, I got chills, right? No matter how difficult it is, no matter how many times you're kicked, how many times you're like hit a brick wall, you're like, I'm not stopping, right, Ed? And
that's exactly right.
That's it. And, don't let anybody else, as much as people love you, sway your dreams and follow. And I know it sounds so cliche, but it's so true. And you're doing it and you did it. So congratulations, friend. Very
Thank you,
proud of
thank
you.
you, Michelle. And you're right.
Welcome.
Just to add, you cannot. Our tagline on the poster: "Never give up." We have
Yeah.
T-shirts, 60 Miles North T-shirts that say "Where you from? Never give up,"
Right.
because
Right.
where you're from shapes who you are, right? And that
Yep.
people always ask me, Newburgh, it shaped me who I am, and that's why I never gave up. And sometimes the thing that didn't work out actually works out.
And that's the only way to look at it,
That's
because things happened and you have to deal with whatever happens. But look what you've done.
Yeah.
Look what you've done. You've made a film
Well, if
just
you-
about this, and you've made 3 other short films. You've had some acting experience also. I mean, we can Google
Yeah.
Eddie Crawford, or are you Edward Crawford if we want to Google you?
Yeah, it's actor Edward Crawford.
Actor Edward Crawford. Look up his IMDb.
Yeah, and I just want to make a quick shout out to some of the cast and crew really quick.
Please.
My cinematographer Patrick Green, amazing. Patrick, can't wait to work with you again. Audrey Kovar, she plays Wild Fall, absolutely amazing. Danny Doherty, some people call this a buddy film. Plays Craig, absolutely amazing actor. Lauren McCann. Who else do we have? That was great. I don't want to forget anyone. Jack Mulcahy. Who else? It's such a big cast. Nick Bohan, my sound guy, who is amazing. Heidi Caruso, my line producer, who's also a local. Who else? Am I missing anybody? Geez. Leatrice Tice, my main man since the Sandbox kindergarten. He's in the film. So yeah, guys, check it out. 2 people healing in unique ways. Shot in Newburgh, and let me know what you think.
Yes. And it's available for streaming next Tuesday, July the 9th. It's called 60 Miles North. And if you want to look it up, and you said on Instagram, it's 60 Miles North.
Correct. Just like
Okay.
the movie.
Okay. Eddie, thank you so much for coming here. Michelle, thank you for joining us. I'm
Thank
so
you
glad.
for having me.
Michelle,
All right.
love you. Have a great
Love,
holiday
love.
weekend.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Michelle, you
Bye.
can't become a huge star and leave us, though. You're not
Oh
allowed
gosh,
to do
no,
that.
no,
Good,
you'll
good.
never get rid of me.
Oh, I'm so glad. Phew. Okay.
Thanks, Kate.
Have a
Thank
great.
you.
We'll talk a little bit later. Michelle, of
sounds
course,
good.
will be on the air at Wall Radio about 10 o'clock. Eddie, thank you again. Please, all the best. Break all possible legs. I don't know if that's appropriate for me to say in film, but
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Kate, thank you for having me on. Have a wonderful weekend.
thank you. You too.